Hey, Spencer Sutton here with Evernest, and today I want to talk to you a question that you may have been asking yourself and looking for an answer online, and that is, should I rent or should I sell my house? So I want to just give you a few good questions to ask yourself as you're making that decision. Number one is your move temporary or is it permanent? In other words, is there a chance you could move back to the city or back into that house at some point down the road? Or maybe that house could be used for child down the road or whatever the case is. Just think about that, because if it is temporary, a lot of times it makes sense to rent the property until you do need to move back in, or someone that you know needs to move back in the property. And a lot of times it can make sense to rent it out and collect that income, keep that mortgage, especially if you have a low interest rate, and not sell it right now. So that's one thing I would be asking myself. Another thing I would be asking is, would the rent that I'm able to get cover the amount of the mortgage, the taxes, interest, and then also any kind of repairs that would be needed? So I think one of the mistakes that people just think about is they only think about, hey, the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and they don't consider that there's going to be repairs and maintenance. Just think, if you were living in the house, there's typically things that you do, maybe even on an annual basis, and then you're going to have bigger ticket items at some point down the road, whether it be a roof or an HVAC or something like that. So consider that. So will your rent cover that? And if so, then it may make a lot of sense. Now, if you want a very objective opinion about what your home will rent for, then you can absolutely reach out to one of our team members, and we'll be happy to walk you through that process of getting an estimate. Doesn't cost anything. We'll do that for free and just help you make that decision or think through that decision a little bit further. The next thing I'd be thinking about is, do you need the money from the sale of this house to purchase another house? So if you do, like if you built up enough equity and you need that cash to buy another home, then absolutely probably makes sense for you to sell it. However, we do know some people who take out a home equity loan and use that for a down payment for a new house, or things like that. If it's just something you don't have to have, some people have enough cash reserves to pay for a down payment on another property, and so they don't really need the cash to be pulled out of that house. And so that's just another thing to consider. And then I would say the last thing to ask yourself is, if you're going to manage the property, can I deal with residents? Like, this is a really, really important decision, because it's not a push a button and forget about it type solution. When you're renting out your home, there's a lot of things that need to go into that. There's a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of laws that you need to follow, and make sure that you're doing the right thing, that you're putting the right resident in your home, and that you're treating them well, taking care of any kind of maintenance requests that they have, and bookkeeping, things like that. So can you handle that? Like, is that something you're prepared for or want to do? Obviously, you can hire a company like Evernest to do that for you, but if you were planning on doing it yourself, then that's definitely a question I would ask. So hopefully that gives you some things to think about. No matter if you end up selling your property or wanting to rent your property, Evernest can help. We have a full service brokerage firm that helps owners buy and sell property, as well as rent property, rehab property, manage property. So we can do everything for you. We are your real estate partner, full service real estate firm. So if we can help at all, feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to hearing from you.